Hello everyone and welcome to our YouTube travel channel, Love More Travel. My name is David.
My name is Arzina.
And we met in July of 2016, and one of the first things that we found out about each other is we both have a passion for travel. We've taken many trips in the little over 4 years that we've been together, and we thought we would share a few maybe tips and a little bit of our advice. We're going to start shooting a few videos. We just got back from Mexico and we're going to upload those videos. And everything in the past has mostly been photos, so we'll do some videos in the upcoming weeks with our past travel. But for now, we're going to just talk about travel. But Arzina, would you like to talk a little bit about your background?
Absolutely. Well, as I mentioned earlier, my name is Arzina, and I am actually born and raised on an island off the east coast of Madagascar Island called Mauritius. It's a very tiny little island. If you want to look it up, we'll put a link in our videos down so you could take a look at it. It's a beautiful little island off the east coast of Madagascar, like I mentioned. And I've been traveling since I was little, and I always had a passion for travel. And it's amazing that now I have met a wonderful man like David, so we could travel together.
And we did go to Mauritius in May of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll post some, I think we have a couple little videos from there and a lot of pictures.
Yes.
But Mauritius is definitely somewhere to put on your bucket list.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching this video, it means you probably like to travel.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about travel in general. I think the two basics for travel are planning and budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you don't really like the B word.
No.
What is the B word?
Budget.
Budget, right. However,
but it's necessary.
It is necessary.
Yes.
So let's actually start with budgeting, because you can plan all you want. You want to go these places, but if you don't budget, you're never going to go anywhere.
Absolutely.
So you have to make travel a priority in your life if you really want to do it. And I'm not talking about the weekend getaway, to 2 hours from where you live. I'm talking about planning a trip, getting on an airplane, going to a foreign country.
Mm-hmm.
Too many Americans are just not comfortable traveling outside of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And until you do, you're not going to experience the other cultures and the richness that is traveling internationally.
I also think that traveling on the weekend when everybody else is traveling is actually a waste of money, because you end up spending more. And along the way, David and I will show you tips about, especially David will, about airline, how to shop a certain way, how to fly a certain way. But we can travel, you can end up spending so much more than you actually budgeted. So that's why it's so important to plan and budget accordingly.
Absolutely. So to get back to what I stated earlier, to budget for travel, you have to be disciplined, and you have to say, I want to travel and I'm going to save money to travel.
100%.
Thank God we're at a place in our life where we can save each month, but everybody's situation is different, and we realize that. So what may be realistic for us may not be realistic for you. So you have to set realistic expectations of what you can afford. With that being said, there are a lot of ways to save money that a lot of people don't really think about. First and foremost, stop eating out. You waste so much money eating out, and not only the health benefits of eating what you know you're putting in your body, it's a waste of money. Even Starbucks, you're going to spend $5 a day on a Starbucks coffee. Let's say you work Monday through Friday, you stop at Starbucks. That's $25 a day, or $25 a week, a month. That's $100. That's $1,200 a year that you're basically wasting on an expensive cup of coffee that you have to sit in a line for? No.
And for Starbucks lovers, like I used to be one too, if you get a good coffee maker at home, you can basically eliminate. I mean, it's well worth the investment. I have an espresso machine. I do get my pods. It's amazing, the coffee. But one of the things that I did notice when I used to go to Starbucks is the add-ons. Just like anywhere else you go, when you start buying one cup of coffee, then you try a macchiato the next time, which is $2 to $4 and then $5. oh, the next day I want a grande, maybe I want a matcha, I want this, I want that. So you keep adding, and then by the time you leave Starbucks, you've spent $10, $12 on what would have been a coffee.
Right. So real quick, we're not anti-Starbucks and we're not pro-Nespresso. These are just our experiences. So
Yes.
obviously this is our first video. We're not sponsored by anybody, and these are just obviously our opinions. And everybody has opinions, and this is just our
Right.
experiences. But if you save money by not dining out alone, you can afford to go places. And there are other ways to save money. We don't have cable anymore. We stream everything. We have Amazon Prime, which is good for getting deliveries and stuff, but there's tons of videos and movies on there. YouTube, obviously, a great resource, especially when it comes to travel. Trust me, during this current situation we're in, we have spent a lot of time researching travel, and our bucket list grows almost weekly.
And let's go back to the food part, because that's important. Let's dissect one piece at a time.
Okay.
So budgeting for buying food is not just a one person thing. In our opinion, it's obviously we do it together. So one of the first things that David does every Friday, because that's his day off, he goes out and shops. Well, before David heads out for shopping, I make sure I put together a meal plan, or we put together a meal plan. What are we going to make every single day from today, which is usually like Thursday or Friday, all the way through the following week, Thursday or Friday. And at that point, he sits with me and we put everything that is necessary for us to keep up with the week. We don't have extra things in the pantry. We do not have extra things in the refrigerator. We only eat as fresh as possible, and we finish everything by Thursday, and then we start that cycle again the following week.
Right. And one other quick thing to add to, like, not only the buying coffee out, if you work where you need to take lunch and or dinner with you, take it with you. You'll eat healthier and you're going to save money. You save money, then you go travel. You go to somewhere like Vietnam where you're going to spend $2 on a whole meal, where $2 doesn't even get you anything remotely healthy here in the U.S.
Right.
So again, you have to prioritize what's most important in your life. If you have the passion for travel, you will make sacrifices to be able to afford to go the places you want to go. So we've kind of talked about budgeting. Maybe I'll get into that a little bit more later. But for this, so let's move on to the next thing, which is planning. There are a lot of factors you have to take into planning. One, where do you want to go? Do you want to go to the beach? Oh, let's go to the beach. Or do you want to go to a theme park? Do you want to stay in the U.S.? Do you want to travel internationally? Obviously, the first hurdle for international travel is a passport. If you don't have one yet, obviously get it ASAP. Then you have other factors such as, do I have a family? Is this going to be a family vacation? Is this going to be a romantic couples vacation? Is it going to be a group of friends? There are so many different types of travel. There are cruises, which we've taken a cruise we're not really a fan of, and we won't talk about that too much.
It depends on who you are and
Right.
what you want in
And
your travel plans.
Yeah, and obviously we know people who swear by cruises. They love them. We tried it, didn't really care for it. There again, okay, so we just got back from Mexico. We spent 5 nights on the island of Cozumel. 4 of those nights were at a non-all-inclusive. Then we went to Playa del Carmen, and we spent 3 nights at an all-inclusive. So you get a feel for the differences between an all-inclusive where you kind of just hang out at the resort and eat and drink and everything, or a non, where we rented a scooter, we rented a Jeep, we got immersed in the local culture. Trust me, once you do that, really the only reason we did the all-inclusive, and you'll see that in the video, was it was our anniversary. 2 years married in just a couple weeks ago, 10 days ago. And honestly, it's probably the last time we'll do all-inclusive.
Most likely.
Unless it's a special occasion or a trip that requires an all-inclusive type resort. But so I know I'm kind of stumbling over myself, but you have to decide what you want out of your vacation. You want to go to the beach? Do you want to go to the city? What are some of your thoughts on those type of vacations?
I enjoy beach, and David and I, we love the beach. But we also know certain vacations there are places in the world that we want to go visit. And we have been to Italy, for example, and every part of Italy that we went to was not in front of a beach.
Right.
So when you plan, you decide, and maybe you start with something a little bit more realistic for you. Because, of course, when we talk about Vietnam, it's a long trip. It's a lot of hours of flying. So you decide what will make you happy. Another big thing, in my opinion, as far as even choosing a destination or a place, like David mentioned, who's going to go with you? I think it's so important to first go with the person that you're closest to see, can you travel well together?
Absolutely.
Because that was one of our first trip. We took a trip to Vegas the first time we went on a trip together, and my whole mindset was, I'm going to see if I can be with this person 24/7 for the next 4 or 5 days. And if I can, then obviously, as you can tell, I was able to. And here we are today after so many travel adventures we've been on together. So I'd say that's the first thing.
Yeah. You really have to decide what you want out of your travel. And are you going to go one place for a week, or do you want to go multiple places over 2 or 3 weeks? And again, there's so many factors. How much time do you get off from work? Right? That's huge. Some people don't get that much vacation, which is a crime to me. Don't get me started on how people in the U.S. are overworked. Okay? But
Stay on course.
so many factors that you have to take into effect of budget, time of year. If you have a family, maybe you can't travel. You can only travel June, July, and August,
Right.
which is going to limit you budget-wise, right? Thank God we have the freedom to pretty much travel when we want, which if you're flexible in travel, that's going to open up a lot of windows for you. Because if you fly on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, it's cheaper than flying Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
And we'll give you all these tips along the way. If there are any questions that you have, anything in particular you want to know about, David and I will definitely address it in our next video or the video after that. So just leave us some comments. We're here to help. I mean, we don't get paid to do this. We're just helping out because
starting out.
we're just starting out, and we have found that there are a lot of things to do, a lot of options out there, but maybe our experiences will help you have a better experience out there.
Absolutely. And one thing that again, during the situation we're in, we've spent a lot of time watching videos. So now is the time to plan, because nobody planned on what happened, okay?
Right.
We were in Singapore and the Philippines on a trip that had been planned months and months in advance when the situation that we're currently in started to get worse and worse.
Yeah.
We made it back in the last week of February. So if you go back and look at your calendar a year ago, you realize we made it back by about 2 weeks before everything started shutting down. Thank God we did, but that again, so that's part of planning also. Plan for the unexpected. We normally don't get travel insurance, and a big thing now is most of the airlines are waiving all the cancellation fees. So again, you have to do what works for you, right?
Absolutely.
You have to decide. But there are so many different resources out there. Watch YouTube videos, okay? Then start going on all the different travel websites.
Be open-minded.
Yeah, and I'm just going to mention them. Again, we don't get paid, but there's Expedia, right? Then you can go to either Hotwire,
My favorite is Travelocity.
Travelocity.
Again, we don't get paid to mention any of these travel sites, but sometimes just comparison shopping is the best way to go.
Kayak is a really good one for flights. Kayak will give you, but it doesn't give all the airlines. So once you start messing around with it, you'll learn some of the little tricks of booking flights and stuff. Sometimes you get a better deal when you book a package. Sometimes it's better when you separate things. Again, there's so many factors that go into it, but don't let yourself get overwhelmed. Start small. Take your first, if this is your first leap. And probably a lot of people who have already traveled, this isn't going to be anything that they don't already know.
Right.
We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here, right? We're just sharing some of our experience. And that was something I wanted to mention a minute ago. A lot of YouTube travel channels are people who are 20s, 30s at best, right? We're just a little bit older than that. but we have a lot of experience. And I think with experience comes knowledge. And
You can tell everyone how old we are. It's
well,
okay.
Okay, I'm 55.
I'm 51.
No, you're not. But honest, like I said, with knowledge comes
With wisdom.
right.
Yeah.
The experience and the knowledge will pay for itself in the long run. So pick other people's brains. Watch these other YouTube videos. We went places in Singapore that I would have never even known existed. Right?
Yeah, unless
Some of the
we
people
watch
we
those
watched,
videos.
Mikey, Nate and Kara, Chris and Carol. Some of these people have amazing resources out there.
Yeah.
So take advantage of all the technology that's out there. Start planning and safe travels. So until the next time, live more,
Laugh more.
love more,
Travel
travel more.